Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and this time I'm playing in one of my favourite premium vehicles, at least at tier 8 medium at the moment. It is the 59 Patton. Favourite premium vehicles, you might be asking? Yeah, how weird is that? I haven't even played this tank very much, and considering it's been out for pretty much a year now, it was released in September 2015. I think I've only played it about 35 times. But recently I've been really enjoying this vehicle, been giving it a second chance as I've been trying to push my Chinese medium tank crew into 5 skills. Now that I've got every tank and also self-propelled gun, every vehicle unlocked in the game, I've been trying to find other ways to, should we say, still feel like I'm progressing, and one of the best ways for me to do that is to be focusing on crew training. And so the 59 Patton, well, lots of people would be thinking, well, why don't you just play your Type-59 over and over again? Well, with the 59 Patton, of course, when you have like a triple experience or events, or maybe even if you're only doing your daily double, it's a way to accelerate your progress. And I've been really enjoying it, so that's why I tried it out again, just to try and get more doubles and triples for my Chinese medium tank crew that are firmly stuck in the Type-59 most of the time. But putting them in the 59 Patton, which is a bit of an absolute Frankenstein of a tank. It is the hull of a Type-59 with, I think, like an M48 turret on top, but unfortunately the M48 turret on top of this tank does have a little bit of extra height, which can get very annoying. Now, I didn't fire there because I didn't want to get spotted, but in retrospect I probably should have had a try at dealing with that tier 6 Czechoslovakian medium tank as we hit the Cromwell on the move. Now, you might be asking, so what's so great about this tank now? Because a year ago when you reviewed it, you really disliked it. And yeah, I absolutely loathed this tank when I played it really in September of last year. There was just nothing special about it. You had this gigantic weak point on top of the vehicle, and it just was very, very, very mediocre. However, 5 patches later, most recently, I think in May, in patch 9.15. Remember, this vehicle was originally released in patch 9.10. And when you think about it, 9.11 never actually really happened as a patch in World of Tanks for obvious reasons, so maybe it was only 4 patches or so. But I digress. They buffed this vehicle, and they buffed it very significantly. The reason why you see me shaking my mouse there is that I'm trying to feather out a target, so to say, at the Bulldog on the enemy team. If you can't quite see if you're able to hit a tank over a ridge line, move your mouse really, really quickly, and then you'll have the outline of the tank if it's at all possible, and then you can zero in on trying to snipe at the weak point of the enemy tank. Now you see me progress here, and that's because I feel like I've got an opportunity. A lot of the tanks on the enemy team are about to take the hill, and so I wanted to advance to push my view range deeper to be able to try and provide more spots for my team. I've already done hopefully a good amount of spotting, but hopefully we can get just a little bit more if we continue in this round. So in patch 9.15, the tank was buffed very significantly. Firstly, its reverse speed went from 16 kilometers an hour to 20 kilometers an hour, which allows you to pull back from tricky situations a lot faster. Also, and this was probably one of my favorite changes to the vehicle, its view range went from 370 meters, which was one of the worst at tier 8 medium, to 400 meters, which was now, I think it's got the highest view range of any of the tier 8 premium medium tanks. I think the better ones have got 390 meters view range, and having 400 meters base view range on a tank, when you start to get a skilled crew, which many people will have in their Chinese medium tanks, you don't need to be using coated optics. I think with the premium consumable that I choose to use on this vehicle, vents, which I use to replace with the coated optics, and crew skills such as situational awareness, recon, brothers in arms, I think I've now got about 470 or even 460 meters view range without coated optics, which allows you to get that little bit of extra benefit from using vents inside the tank, which is absolutely fantastic. Free vents, that's basically 2.5 or even 2.6% better in every regard on the vehicle, which helps it get the edge, I feel. So that 30 meters view range buff was a very significant advantage for the tank. Also, its aim time went from 2.5 seconds to 2.3 seconds, and I should also highlight that the dispersion values while moving on this tank are better than every other vehicle apart from the Ripper Patton, at least at tier 8 medium tank for the premium vehicles. And what's absolutely awesome about that is the Ripper Patton actually has 2.5 seconds aim time, so this vehicle not only has pretty much top tier dispersion, but it also has fantastic aim time as well now with the patch. Finally, a tiny little rate of fire increase from 7.89 to 8 rounds a minute. Every little helps. Well, I should say penultimately, but finally 0.38 to 0.36 accuracy, which just makes it just that little bit more reliable. It's now got the same accuracy as the Mutz, and that is very good because only the CDC at premium medium tank has got better accuracy than the 59 Patton. And so, all in all, a true contender right now. So this game has developed in a rather interesting fashion with the way that I pushed across, tried to get some view range, took out, I believe, a couple of tanks, or just, a couple of tanks with the T-34-85 and the Skoda, and now I've pulled back because I saw that the very dangerous platoon on the enemy team, these IS-3s, were going to claim the hill and then push in and be able to take out even more vehicles. So by pulling back here, I've definitely given my team at least a chance, and this... It's Christmas right now for the Type-59 Patton, just shooting into the side of these IS-3s. But even shooting into the side of the IS-3s, you can't be fully reliable unless you really have, like, shall I say, ultra-high penetration with your AP or APCR rounds, because there's fantastic spaced armor and angling on the side of Soviet heavy tanks, which does provide miracle bounces. Nevertheless, 942 Delta 1, taking him out, and now we get to start to apply pressure to the other. Now, I want him to turn his turret. I want to try and get behind this fellow, and we can see that he doesn't want to turn his turret to me. I guess he's just accepted that I'm going to have the back of his tank, and he wants to keep his front to the Stura Emil and also to the Churchill, and that allows me to just be picking him apart. 1,163 damage done to him, and we finish him off, putting 6 rounds into his tank, 1,241, taking out by far 2 of the most dangerous players on the enemy team. And when we also consider that we were taking out these players as well earlier on, I think I'm having a pretty good impact in this 36%er so far. So 4,000 damage and 3 kills. That is a fantastic result for any tier 8 tank, but this battle is not yet over. I'd also like to stress the importance of reading the map. Lots of people ask me, what would you say is your #1 tip for a new player in World of Tanks? It's to firstly hammer your plus key to make your map bigger, and then to spend probably about half your time or even more looking at the map, because you've got to be looking at the map to see how it's going to develop. And if you can't predict the situations that the enemy are going to put themselves in, and maybe your team are going to get themselves into, then you're never going to have time to be able to be there before you need to be able to, should we say, turn the tide of battle. And that was me reading that the IS-3s were pushing down the hill, and that I would have a lovely opportunity to be using this ridge line to take them out. Alas, it doesn't look like you're meant to win your 36%ers all that often, and we are now in a 1 versus 6 situation with 3 self-propelled guns on the enemy team. Now I take a stop to shoot at this Bulldog. I really can't afford to miss him here. Unfortunately, he tracks me, and I'm only using a small repair kit, and I decide that I'm going to sit because I wanted to save the repair kit, and that looks like that was a big mistake as the artillery just shave off pretty much about 800 of my hit points there, I believe. But luckily, the fairly good accuracy and good aim time now of the 59 Patton allow us to shut down that Bulldog. Now we're going to do some circles to try and avoid the artillery, and we've turned this 1 versus 6 now into a 1 versus 5. But, you know, these kind of 1 versus 6 situations, there are only 3 tanks on the enemy team. Fair enough, 3 self-propelled guns supporting them, which means that we have to be very dynamic and keep moving to hopefully trying to avoid them, and stopping momentarily there, or shall we say being greedy and not using the repair kit on our tracks. Looks like it definitely was probably the wrong decision there. Of course, at long range on Malinovka, if the artillery do hit you, you've got to consider yourself to be fairly unlucky, really. And it does take them a long time to aim in. Irrelevant. Somebody in the cap circle. We can't quite see him. We don't know who it is, but we spot the ISU-152. Quick snapshot there, shutting down the ISU-152, and we don't want to stop for too long, otherwise the artillery might be gunning for us. We also noticed that 1 shell missed our tank there, so that strongly suggests that it is not a self-propelled gun inside the cap circle, but is indeed the IS-6. And so what I want to do now is try and use my damn good view range to be able to spot this heavy tank at long range and put some pressure on him. Unfortunately for us, he is on 624 hit points, which means that I need to penetrate him 3 times to be able to take him down. And unfortunately, more for us, that our first heat round fails to go through the front of his tank. Luckily, the artillery misses the back of my vehicle, which I should be very helpful about. Now you're going to see a couple of things about the 59 Patton that really suck. So far you've seen some really awesome things about the vehicle: incredible aim time, great gun handling, pretty good rate of fire now. Now we're going to see that the mobility is rather mediocre. The last thing that I want is to get trapped right now. And we get spotted by the IS-6 there because the cupola on this tank is just so damn tall. He was able to see the top of the tank. Fair enough, we were able to spot him as well, but I want to remain hidden. I want to control the engagement, and getting spotted there by the IS-6 has such a dramatic impact on this round, because it allows the artillery to zero in again on me, and he sees my position, and I can't lure him into a bad position to be able to take him out. Of course, if you're going for an IS-6 and you need to shoot him 3 times and he needs to shoot you twice, he's got armor that can at least bounce quite a few of your shells frontally, as we've seen earlier, and he's also got the support of 3 self-propelled guns, then you really want to try and catch him at long range, and so that's what I'm doing here. I've got 4 minutes left on the game, so what my mindset is right now is try and spot the IS-6 at long range, put 1 shot into him, and then maybe I can go and brawl with him because I'll be able to shoot him twice for every time he can shoot me, and I'll still have enough time to be able to cross and probably cap. So I'm thinking the IS-6 is up there, maybe he's in the bushes. Hopefully we're going to be able to catch a glimpse of him right now. And there he is, he's rolling straight down towards us. Hopefully he won't spot me. That tank has only got 350 meters view range. But oh god, he does manage to spot us, but luckily we put a shot into him as well. Now reducing him to 383 hit points. We will only have to shoot him twice. I stop momentarily behind the building, and then I just decide to make my way out. Unfortunately for me, none of the artillery actually took a blind shot. Well, there we go, there's 1 blind shot, fantastic. That means that we're only going to have to avoid 2 shells probably for the next 20 seconds or so. Now I want to get some distance from the IS-6, try and keep it at long range. And what you're also seeing here, and the reason why I'm getting spotted by the IS-6 so much, is that this terrible, terrible cupola on top of the 59 Patton means that it has horrific camo rating, which is completely sad. I think if I was in many of the other tier 8 premium medium tanks, I would probably be able to avoid getting spotted by this IS-6 so much, and he just keeps spotting me over this ridge line. Absolutely painful to have that cupola on top of the tank. We take a shot at him, and 1 artillery misses us, but the GW Tiger P does not, doing 528 damage to us. What an absolute heartbreak here. But to be fair, I think that I wasn't leaving myself enough time to be able to progress over the other side of the map and be able to take out the artillery. And the real reason why I looked like I was floundering for the last minute is because I was so completely baffled about how a tank which has poor view range, like the IS-6, was able to spot me. And I did not appreciate just how prominent the cupola was on the 59 Patton. It gets you spotted over ridge lines really awkwardly, and it also means that the camo rating of the tank, because it's now got a very tall profile, is absolutely horrific and amongst the worst, if not the worst, out of any of the tier 8 premium medium tanks. So while this was a brutal end in the 59 Patton, hopefully you guys got some tips and tricks throughout that replay, and definitely something to watch out for if you choose to pick up this tier 8 Chinese premium medium tank. Only 2 other players on my team were able to do over 1,000 damage in this round, and I really thought that 5,300 damage and 5 kills might be enough to be able to take this one down, but we get an ace tanker and a high caliber anyway, and because of the courageous resistance, we actually ended up getting more than 2,250 experience for not a double. And irrelevant of the heat rounds that we fired in this loss, still 100,000 credits profit. Now the 59 Patton is available on the EU server for the next few days, which is another reason why I wanted to have another talk about this vehicle. Is it worth it? It's got some really impressive statistics, but that cupola and the lack of mobility really doesn't make it feel like a true medium tank. Sure, this vehicle is in a way better position than in 9.10, but if you do decide to pick one, I definitely wanted to stress the weaknesses for you. Either way, hopefully you enjoyed this video, or maybe it was just useful to you. If it was, please consider giving it a like, it really helps the channel out, and let me know in the comments down below what you think about the Type-59 Patton, especially in its buff state. Do you think it's now competitive compared to the Type-59 and also the T-34-3, especially considering that those vehicles do have preferential matchmaking? Do you think the tank is just that much better to mean that it can also handle tier 10s? And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.